From the minute Karen Mulren stormed down to our dock, waving what looked like an eviction notice and yelling for us to get out of this lake immediately, I knew we'd crossed some kind of invisible line. You should have seen her, face flushed, voice booming like she was the sheriff of the Wild West, and half the neighborhood standing behind her with their cell phones out, just itching to catch our humiliation on camera. You ever had a grown woman try to stage a public execution on your own lawn? Yeah, that happened. She thought she could scare us off with threats, make an example out of us, for refusing to bow to her brand-new, power-drunk HOA. Problem is, Karen had no clue who she was really dealing with. My family. We don't rattle easy. To her, we were just the Westfields, the tech guy, his home office wife, a couple of smart-mouthed kids, new to the countryside. To us, she was just another local tyrant who'd never run into a real nightmare. Let me back up a sec. 3 years back, we moved out here. Me, my wife Maya, our son Ethan, and daughter Zoe. Outwardly, we were the picture of boring suburbia. I fixed computers for a living, or so folks thought. Maya handled consulting. Ethan lived online, and Zoe was always off acing some STEM contest. Truth? I was FBI, cybercrime unit. Maya? DEA, financial forensics. Ethan's not just good with computers. He's a national champ. Zoe's got the kind of mind that makes Mensa look basic. We landed on this lake because the government dropped us here, under witness protection, after testifying against a global crime ring. But we kept our heads down. This farm was our safe house, not just a slice of the American dream. We didn't need, or want, Karen's HOA. But she had other ideas. See, Karen had been a hotshot real estate boss, until she got tossed out for financial irregularities. Landed here, swore she'd build the most powerful HOA in the state, every family paying dues. Every family obeying her rules. We were the one property that refused. Her partner in crime? Marcus Webb, treasurer and professional paper pusher. The kind of guy who always looks like he's smuggling bad news in a manila folder. They came by, all smiles and legal threats, pushing a $200 monthly fee for the good of the community. I took the clipboard, gave it back, told her, politely, that we had special arrangements with local authorities. Maya backed me up, cool as ice. Karen's smile evaporated. You could see the wheels spinning. Special arrangements? She smelled blood. She pushed harder. Are you above the rules? Above the rest of us? Her sidekick grinned, loving every second. I kept it calm, told her again we had obligations outside the HOA. She didn't like that. Bullies never do. She promised legal action, stormed off vowing to use every tool available. I've heard that before, from people far scarier than Karen. 2 days later, her lawyer called. But something in our property records spooked him. Federal safe house codes, the kind that say, back off, official business. He dropped the case, told Karen to let it go. Naturally, she assumed we'd bribed him. Started telling neighbors we were criminals, tax dodgers, running a scam. I'd have laughed, but these things have a way of getting ugly. That's when the first twist hit. Janet Miller, retired accountant, former HOA treasurer, and, turns out, no fan of Karen, slipped Maya a fat envelope at the grocery store. Inside, years of receipts showing Marcus was embezzling from the community fund. $7,000 here, $8,000 there. Always a little extra siphoned off to ghost accounts. Maya's eyes lit up. Classic fraud pattern, she said, almost admiring. But Karen didn't stop at legal threats. She emailed the county, accused us of running an illegal business, dodging taxes, even tried bribing a local official to dig up dirt. The official went straight to his boss, who went straight to the ethics board. Karen was making enemies faster than she made rules. And then, second twist, a neighbor's kid got lost in the woods. Everyone panicked. We went into tactical mode. Ethan tracked him with drones. Zoe mapped the trails. Maya coordinated the search. We found the boy in 8 minutes. Suddenly, folks who'd been filming our supposed downfall were whispering that maybe, just maybe, the Westfields weren't the villains after all. That night, Ethan worried aloud. If his friends at school found out how weird we really were, he'd never fit in. The cost of all this undercover life, you know? We promised to protect their normal as best we could. Karen, of course, doubled down. Hired a PI, tracked down the last owner of our land, an old guy named Patterson who lost his home to a crooked HOA years ago. Turns out, Maya and I had been part of the federal team that busted that old scam. Same patterns, fake fines, legal harassment, forced sales. Now Karen was using the same playbook, with some shadowy developer feeding her lines. Maya met Marcus for coffee, made it clear she knew everything. Gave him a choice: help expose Karen's backers, or go down with her. Next day, he came to our door with a laptop full of incriminating emails, proving Karen's compliance campaign was part of a bigger scheme. Tank property values, force foreclosures, let outside investors snatch up homes cheap. Karen, still clueless, called a big emergency HOA meeting. Brought the whole circus, piles of paperwork, accusations, all to stage our public shaming. But I showed up with my own folder, proof that our land was covered by a federal grant, making me the oversight officer for lake activities. Then I hit her with the bank statements, called out the missing funds, and watched the room turn on her. Janet Miller leading the charge for a financial audit, Marcus breaking, the rest of them finally seeing the light. But Karen's last gasp was calling in Sheriff Morrison. What she didn't know? Years ago, we'd saved that man's life on a sting gone bad. He walked onto our lawn, recognized me instantly, and suddenly everything changed. He confirmed our witness protection status in front of Karen and the HOA. She tried to organize a public protest, TV cameras, signs. The works, turned the neighborhood against us one last time. And here's where it gets cinematic. One of the journalists covering her rally was actually our U.S. Marshal handler, undercover for months. As Karen ranted about federal conspiracies, the marshal produced his badge, read her rights, and arrested her for fraud, embezzlement, obstruction, the whole 9 yards. Marcus surrendered. On the spot, cameras rolled, neighbors gawked, and just like that, the mighty Karen was done. In the days after, neighbors apologized, thanked us for unmasking the real villains. Janet Miller took over as treasurer. Sheriff Morrison set up new rules for transparency, promised nobody would get bullied again. And our family, well, we got a call, another assignment, another HOA in trouble, another fresh start. That's how it goes. But here's the real kicker. All Karen ever wanted was control, and in trying to crush us, she handed us the leverage to stop her, to fix the mess, to help the next community down the line. So let me ask you, what would you do if your peace, your home, your whole life were threatened by someone with just enough power to ruin it? Would you stand up? Would you fight back? Or would you let someone like Karen write the ending for you? Let me know down in the comments, because if you've ever tangled with a neighborhood tyrant or felt powerless against the system, I want to hear your story. Hit like, subscribe if you want more tales of justice done the hard way, and never forget, sometimes the people who seem the most ordinary are the ones who change everything. You know what I mean?